You're listening to an episode of the Retail Shift podcast, business advice for inventory based brands and the merchants who run them. My name is Chris Gio, founder of Merchant Method, but most importantly, your retail coach for the next few minutes. Have you ever been asked what advice you'd give yourself, a younger version of yourself, if you could travel back in time? My son actually asked me this question yesterday. And to be perfectly honest with you, I hate this question. Please take no offense. I just really don't like it. I think it's because I am far more interested in actively recovering from my failures than redefining them. And I hope you join me over at this party because successful inventory based brands acknowledge messes. Successful brands acknowledge the product dogs. Successful inventory based brands acknowledge failures and then fail up. At the end of this episode, I'm going to share my 4-step process it is not only going to help you recover, but also help you get to where you want to go more effectively, more quickly, and more profitably. But first, we need to start by separating this recovery concept from the redefining concept so that you can do the types of different things that are going to yield the types of different results you're actually after. You know this. If we do the same thing, we're likely to get the same results. And if we want to get different results, we're going to need to do some different things. At a young age, maybe in our teen years, in our early adult lives, and then maybe even in our early entrepreneurial years, we learned that failure makes us stronger. We learned that failures are blessings in disguise. And I am not even denying that there's truth in that. But what I want to do is talk about how we, as merchants, as small business owners, need to reach beyond redefining failures. Because when we redefine them, even though there's value in redefining them, we're actually missing a critical learning opportunity. And we tend to stop there. We actually stop short of reaching the growth we want by not completing the circle, the review circle. So if you're ready to learn how retailers and makers operate like beyond the strategic, like how we recover from failure, I want you to join me. After this, join me over at Retail Charm School. Yes, you are listening to the Retail Shift podcast. This is quick micro lessons. Retail Charm. So if you think of this podcast as what you could be doing and why you should be doing it, Retail Charm School is where it's at to learn how to do this. So think of it this way: Retail Shift, level 101 of your retail MBA. Retail Charm School is my video-based show, level 201. That's where we dive deep into the skill sets that help you unlock the personal confidence and the business clarity that leads to retail profit. And all you really need to do is go to merchantmethod.com/school. Merchantmethod.com/school to master the art and science of running an inventory based business. I will see you in class. So, what exactly is beyond a new point of view on failure, right? If we're not stopping at redefining failure, what could we expect beyond that? Well, we know that history repeats itself. It is a fact. History repeats itself. And that we need to disrupt our repetition to do something differently so we can get those different results. So in this instance, when it comes to things like skipping steps in implementing a new business process, any process, because the reality is you've got limited resources and limited time. So you're picking and choosing what steps to implement and which ones to skip. And you did it knowing that you might run into problems, but you needed to do it. Right? What comes beyond things like taking a course of action and trying to decide and trying to decide and trying to decide, and then just not ever being able to land the plane and just pick a course of action? Typically, these are my creative entrepreneurs here. Really love to simmer, love to collaborate, love to get insight, love to think, and then never decide. So when it comes to feeling indecisive, not picking a course of action is actually letting something or someone else pick it for you. Whatever the case may be, we've all, including me, on countless occasions, have experienced failure. And as a person who is deeply fascinated with my own missteps, my hiccups, my backslides, my mistakes, my failures, I want to share with you my get up and grow formula because it's simple, it's effective, it's repeatable. Those three things: simple, effective, repeatable. My favorite kind of process. All right, here are the first steps. You need to start with a unit of measure, right? If you're going to measure how many feet something is, you need to start with what a foot is. So you need to document your choices. Step 2, document the results. Easy enough, right? Step 3, measure the difference. And step 4, decide to learn something from that. So let's explore. Step 1, document your choices. I'm not saying you have to right now, in this moment, change the way you make your choices. But I certainly know that once you document them, you become much more intentional about them. You make them rather than getting swept up in the momentum of customers and business, rather than having them made for you. When you document them, you mark your starting line. And as I mentioned earlier, completing full cycles. This is an example of a full cycle allows you to learn. Growth is like a spiral process. It keeps coming back on itself. This could be as simple as taking a Post-it note and writing down your next business decision, or making a note in the form of an email that you send to yourself and file in your email account. Or it could be as formal as a full-blown quarterly business plan. I don't care what it is. It almost doesn't even matter what it is, but that you do it with intention. Okay, after that, you do your thing, and then it's done. Could be quick, could take a whole quarter, could take a whole year. But the second step is you have to document what happened, the results. If you don't, when you don't, you jump from one start line to another and you bring with you the exact same behaviors. If you liked the results, go on with your bad self. But I will tell you, there's also something to be learned from reviewing. If they were a little bit short of where you wanted to be, or if they were like hella lackluster, you have to pause between one start line and another. Wrapping things up full circle completes each process. Yes, it can be formal. It doesn't have to be formal. Yes, it could be long. It doesn't have to be long. At the end of the day, the questions are simple. What did you say you were going to do? What did you do? What went well? What didn't? Those three questions complete our first step process. So step 3 is measure the difference. Now you need to reflect on what you said you were going to do and what you actually did, or what you didn't. accomplish. It's not enough. I'll be honest with you. It's not enough to think about it. You actually have to write this down. Yes, there is a lot of science around the kinesthetic benefits, the brain benefits of processing something and getting it in our bones and writing it down and helping us move through it. But it actually slows us down so we can process. And in that slowing down and processing, we're learning. The other reason why it's important to write it down is the mind has this glorious ability to forget. Particularly, the mind has a glorious ability to forget the things we could have done to avoid the pitfalls. And the mind has this glorious ability to dampen our highest highs and our biggest wins. We don't forget it, it just gets dampened over time. Lastly, step 4, decide to learn. Because congratulations, my friend, you're a small business CEO. You are a learning leader. And it's true, you don't know what you don't know until you know it. And this process puts in front of you maybe what you didn't know. And as soon as you know it, there's hopefully a point where you need to act on it. And at this point, after you've measured the difference between what you said you were going to do and what you did, or what you planned to achieve and what you actually achieved, what you wanted to do and what you did, whatever that case may be, you actually have a choice to make. You can keep doing what you're doing, or you can do something different. So again, this 4 really easy, what I call my 4 get up and go process, particularly when it comes to recovering from failure, is document your choices, document the results, measure the difference, decide to learn. Take action, my loves, take action. So here are your next steps. Step 1, for the next 5 days, I want you to work on this get up and go process. And that way, as you work on it, you will learn how to make it your own. Make it your own. Now, it doesn't matter what decision that you make to kick off this 4-part process. And I'm not saying you are automatically going to fail, but part of this game of playing big means signing up for failure. It's part and parcel of this process. You know that. Preaching to the choir. What matters is that you get this experience under your belt and you keep doing it over and over again. So just pick any choice and work this get up and grow system. Imagine all of the wisdom you can squeeze out from your business and what could be possible just 90 days from now, 90 days from today, when you get strong enough to recover from every business failure. I'm excited for you already. Okay, step 2. Because you've made it this far, I have a good, strong feeling that you'd love to join me over at Retail Charm School. I'm feeling it in my bones. So if you're still listening and you like this, you will for sure like that. All you have to do is go to merchantmethod.com/school. merchantmethod.com/school. I'm saving you the best seat in class so that you can master the art and science of merchandising. All right, until I see you next time, I want to thank you for joining me today. It would not be the same without you. And if you feel the same way too, can you do me a solid? Rate this podcast and leave a comment. When you do, you will get a social shout out here and my deep and genuine gratitude. Catch you next time. Thank you.